Bauer here.
This is Gidney speaking. Just want to make sure you found everything you need in the flat.
Oh, yes, thank you.
You found the long-life milk in the fridge?
Yes, I did.
The milkman will deliver fresh milk in the morning, but you'll have to settle the bill yourself.
Well, that's very kind of you.
We like to keep our guests happy.
Thank you.
Did you know the Israeli girl, Michal Rak, was in London?
No?
Police picked her out of the river.
I don't know where.
Looks like she was beaten up and thrown in the water.
Is she all right?
Just about. I'm bringing her around to you. You'd better keep an eye on her in the future.
No, just a minute.
Well, at least that's the end of the Jewish bitch.
What's happened?
She's been taken care of. Her body's in the river.
Well, sooner or later it'll be found.
Who's to know who killed her?
Every night in any large city, girls like her attacked, raped, robbed, or killed.
We can't make a mistake now.
You're worrying about nothing.
That's all, France. You may go now.
Right, sir.
Wish I'd been with you. You needed more help. You're tired. It's exhausted you.
It wasn't suitable work for a young woman.
That's silly and old-fashioned.
Your mother wouldn't have wanted you to do such a thing.
My mother was a bourgeois.
Your mother was a loyal and loving woman.
She didn't like National Socialism.
No, she did not understand it, but she never wavered in her loyalty to me.
Did she know what you were doing in all those years that followed the war?
She knew all she needed to know.
So she didn't know where the money came from to set up the business and sustain it in the early years?
No, she wouldn't have understood.
Perhaps she wouldn't have enjoyed living on money that came from the SS inheritance.
Ingrid?
Are you ashamed, too?
No, you know I'm not, but you must never mention that money anywhere.
I take after you. I believe as you do.
You know, when I look around me today and see how right the Fuhrer was, how the Marxists have succeeded, I fear for you and your generation.
There'll be enough of us who believe to change everything in time.
Those were great days. There was a feeling of invulnerability. No one believed it was possible to fail.
You're living in the past. It's now we have to think of.
Perhaps, after all, it is too late.
No! Those are the doubts of an old man.
I do not have doubts, but I am a practical man.
Then continue to finance the movement. We'll take care of the rest.
Well, there are others to consider.
Others?
All those who are left.
They can't change things. They're old men. Anyway, they failed last time.
We didn't fail.
The war was lost.
We were betrayed. The bomb plot. He was affected by it. His judgment, some even say his reason, was affected.
I know.
Yes,
Gidney here. We have a parcel for you.
just a minute.
Where do you want her?
How is she?
Cuts and bruises. The hospital patched her up and gave her a shot. She should be coming round soon. Here. These are her clothes still wet from the river. These are her personal possessions, passport money and so on.
Right.
Look, this girl's been a damn nuisance. These bloody amateurs are all the same. They think they know it all and can do it all. Whiskey?
No thanks.
I brought this girl around here because I want you to keep an eye on her. Don't let her go sleuthing around. She goes near that damn hotel again, they'll get her for certain. It's sheer luck she's alive as it is.
She nearly got herself killed in Germany.
Persistent little thing.
Obsessed. She's convinced the Dorf is Kessler and wants revenge for what he did to her parents.
Too emotional. Wouldn't make a good operator. Pack her off home soon as she's fit.
I can't make her do anything. She's a free agent.
Surveillance is a job for professionals. I'll detail some of my men to keep an eye on Dorf. Keep her out of the way. She's not short of money. Plenty of travelers' checks. Get her to buy a ticket back to Tel Aviv.
Well, I'll do my best. I don't particularly want to be encumbered with her either.
Good. I've arranged for one of the chaps to pay her hotel bill and bring the rest of her things round here.
Thanks a lot.
Not at all. Want to do anything I can for you. Thanks for the drink.
Don't move. You'll be all right in a while. You're lucky to be alive.
My clothes?
In the bathroom, drying.
How did they get wet?
You were found in the river. The police pulled you out.
You are a policeman?
No, not exactly.
Then why am I here?
It was felt you'd be safer here.
I can look after myself.
Not very well, apparently. Your passport says you're an Israeli.
Yes.
Following Dorf can be a dangerous game.
You know about him then?
Mm-hmm. I don't like him either.
You know about his past?
Yes?
You're Jewish too?
No, I'm German. And I don't like the Nazis any more than you do.
He's a murderer.
Well, there are other war criminals. Why pick on him?
He was responsible for the destruction of my family.
He was responsible for the torture and deaths of a great many people. During the war, he was head of Gestapo in Brussels. Many people working in the underground movement, others in Lifeline, suffered and died as a result of that man's actions.
Then he should be punished.
Will killing one old man bring them back to life?
That old man tried to kill me this evening.
An eye for an eye.
He also killed my best friend.
Did he? You'd better drink this. It's all right, it's only brandy.
I don't drink.
You don't usually get half killed either. Now just relax.
I must get back to my hotel.
It isn't safe, they may be watching it.
They think I'm dead.
You're better staying here.
Yeah?
Until you're fit enough to move.
My clothes?
The rest of your luggage is on the way. A friend of mine in intelligence has arranged everything.
Who exactly are you?
The name is Bauer. Richard Bauer. Now, Miss Rack,
How do you know my name?
your passport.
What is your occupation?
I work for the Verwaltungsschutz, German intelligence.
But
Now,
what-
you just get some rest and sleep. You can ask more questions in the morning.
Hello?
Ingrid, my dear, I hope your father is all right.
He's tired. He's gone to bed.
You should never have allowed him to become involved in this matter.
He was determined.
This sort of operation is for a young man.
Well, he was in fear of his life, so he acted.
And nevertheless, it would have been better if he had spoken with me first.
My father is used to making his own decisions.
My dear child, my concern is for his future. A man in his position should not be associated with such sordid proceedings. It might affect the organization.
Which, of course, is always the first consideration.
It is the only consideration, my dear. It has to be for all of us. I wish you good night.
Good night.
Who was it?
Colonel. I don't think I trust Colonel Rookett.
He's a powerful and dangerous man.
He treats us, the new generation of National Socialists, like children.
I advise you to be careful about showing your feelings towards him.
One day it'll be our turn. We need that money.
Yes, and those old fools have got it.
What for?
Keep them safe from Avengers. Keep them until de Targ.
There'll never be a de Targ for them. There will be for us. One day we'll revive the greatness of Germany. A united Germany.
Yeah, without communists and Jews.
When we return home, I'll call together the group leaders and we'll make a plan.
Plan's about all you can do without money.
Well, my father has that.
And plan a way to get it before you do anything else.
So I have 2 months so-called leave.
Those old Nazis are still powerful.
Well, they stick together, but there aren't many of them. They don't really matter anymore.
How can you say that so long as any of them remain alive?
Well, killing them is not the answer.
Then what?
Making sure that National Socialism doesn't arise again. It isn't only the older ones who believe in it. Some of the younger ones do. And they could be dangerous.
How are you going to stop them?
Well, to be effective, the movement needs a political base, an organization, a party, propaganda machine, all the trimmings, in fact.
It could happen.
Not without big money, big enough to buy people, to fight openly in elections, as Hitler once did.
Who's going to supply that sort of money?
It's already there. The Kameradenwerk have it. Some is with the old guard who escaped to South America. Some is still in Europe. But together it's a vast sum. Now, if this man Dorf is Kessler, he could lead us to it. If the fortune, as they call it, could be somehow destroyed, then the chances of a serious revival in Nazism would be over.
Very well. I will work with you.
Will you? Well, that's very courageous of you. But this is a job for professionals.
I've had military training.
Not much use for this kind of work.
Then I will continue alone.
Now, you've almost been killed twice already. You've achieved nothing except getting in the way. Now, please stop while you're still alive.
I will get Kessler.
Marmalade?
Yes, please.
If you attempt to go near him again, you'll be quietly put out of the country.
Who'll buy?
People who picked you up last night. They don't like interference from amateurs.
Professional friends of yours, I suppose.
That's right.
What do you and they wish me to do?
Go back where you came from, as soon as you're fit enough to travel.
And may I stay here until then?
Provided you stay well clear of Kessler.
Okay. And what will happen to Kessler?
Well, nobody's proof for certain yet that Dorf is Kessler.
There are no records?
None. Officially, he was killed on the retreat from Brussels.
He was married, surely.
Yes, he was married. If Dorf is Kessler, he can't possibly have destroyed all records of Madeline. From all accounts, he genuinely loved her. So somewhere...
3851?
Carl, it's Richard.
Oh, how's London?
What about Van Eyck's death? The police come up with anything?
Well, forensic think it's linked in, so it's terrorists.
Carl, it's Richard.
Oh, how's London?
Listen, what about Van Eyck's death? Police come up with anything?
Well, forensic think it's linked in, so it's terrorists.
Which ones?
Well, they don't know.
Ah, they probably never will. Would you mind having a look round Dorf's house for me?
What would I be looking for?
Documents. Anything from the past. You must have kept something.
Yeah, good idea. I'll go along tomorrow.
You be careful now. There are guards.
Well, I'm not on holiday. I shall go in my official capacity.
Thanks, Carl.
Pleasure working with you. Bye.
Yes, can I help you?
My name is Lyda, West German Intelligence. I would like to speak with the housekeeper, please.
Please leave your car at the gates and walk on up to the house.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Herr Dorf is away. We don't exactly know when he's returning.
Yes, I know. Because of all the unfortunate publicity, my department has been asked to make a thorough survey of the house and grounds. There must be no possibility of Herr Dorf being troubled again.
Yes, of course. What exactly is it you want?
Well, would you make me a list of all the people employed here in the house and bring me their identification card numbers? Then I'll check the general security arrangements.
Very well. It might take a few moments.
Oh, please don't worry. There's no rush.
Hello, Eric? Yes. Yes, in the study, taking photographs. No, not papers. Herr Dorf's family album.
Did you tell her to go home?
Yes, I did.
How did she take it?
Not too well at first, until I told her you'd throw her out of the country if she misbehaved.
Excellent. Now the silly girl's alerted them, there will be all eyes until they're sure there's nobody else. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, I need to know who Dorf contacts in London.
I can manage a small team for about a week, but that's all. I'm already up to budget on surveillance. After 7 days, you'll have to start covering the place yourself.
Ah. Well, that's very good of you.
Yes. Who is it?
Philip, it's me.
Oh, come in, Tom.
Ah,
Hello, Tom.
Richard. Nice to see you. A long time since...
Since Helsinki.
That's right. The commander told me you were calling in.
Would you both like coffee?
Only if it's the Malay blend.
Just you try this one. Did you get anything on Kessler?
Well, after I'd seen the videotape of that program that Van Eyck made, I had our chaps go over all the old files we held. It seems that Kessler was killed in the retreat from Brussels, and there all trails end.
Well, he could have taken on another identity. It was done frequently.
Yes, clever fellows, the SS. Investigations leading up to the Nuremberg trials, however, came up with a report I found particularly interesting. It seems there was an officer in a Belgian prison camp calling himself Major Spitzweg. He was responsible for the court-martial of a fellow officer for desertion in the face of the enemy. Amazing thing is, this fellow was found guilty and executed in the prison camp.
By the Canadians?
No, his fellow prisoners.
I remember. Hell of a stink at the time. They were lent the arms by the soldiers guarding them.
It seems that this Major Spitzweg looked very like Standartenführer Kessler.
What happened to Spitzberg at the end of the war, when the prisoners were finally released?
Don't know. Nobody knows. Apparently, he escaped after the court-martial. Never heard of again.
Well, how did he escape?
Nobody seems to know. There was some talk of a guard being bribed by a woman. Nothing was found, of course.
Well, Kessler had a mistress in Brussels. But as you say, inconclusive.
There is a bit more. Spitzweg is alleged to have worked alongside Eichmann for a short time until Eichmann took off for South America.
What was Eichmann doing at the time?
Administrating part of the SS fortune, amongst other things.
I thought Bormann took it with him to South America.
Not all of it. Eichmann is supposed to have been in charge of some of it.
And Eichmann didn't take any money with him to South America.
Correct.
Maybe that's how Dorf Industries came into being.
SS money?
Well, enough of it could have been used to set up the company.
And the rest?
Ask Kessler.
Or the Kameradenwerk.
If you can find them.
Kessler. If we frighten him enough, he may turn to the Kameradenwerk for help.
And take you with him.
Well, thank you both for your cooperation.
Oh, please sign your card before you go. Miss Stasel, would you see Mr. Bauer out, please? Thank you. Take care. These Nazis can be quite unpleasant.
You were right about Kessler. He does keep a few records of the past. I think I am being followed.
is Kessler. He won't scare easily.
The Foreign Office are getting restless.
What about?
Well, the press have picked up the Kessler story from the Belgian press. Asking questions about Dorf. Why should an ex-Nazi, an SS man, known war criminal, be allowed to attend a trade conference in this country? Usual stuff.
They know damn well you can't chuck a fellow out on suspicion. It's all surmise.
I wonder what Van Eyck knew that was so vital he had to be killed.
The truth?
Yes, well, I'd better find out the truth about this Dorf Kessler, whoever he is.
I thought you were going to let Bauer do your dirty work, getting soft.
I need quick results. Miss Mizzen, what's the latest from our man at the hotel? I see. Is that all? Thank you. It seems Herr Dorf has ordered a hire car to pick him up at 11:45 and take him to a meeting. Get me Mr. Jones, please, of Special Projects on red.
Well, I won't be a party to whatever is going to happen.
You bloody hypocrite. We'd like to stay and have some lunch.
Only if you pay. You'll not do better with expenses than mine.
Yes? Oh, thank you. David, scramble 28, please. There's a German industrialist, Herr Dorf, at the hotel in Russell Square. You know about him. Good. I want the surveillance increased to a B team. Yes, I know I'm up to budget, but I think it's worth the overspend. Yes. Yes. Good. Oh, and one thing more, David. The hotel squad say he's ordered a hire car to pick him up at 10:45.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, as you were. 11:45. Do a 37C on it, please.
Have you any sweet biscuits?
Nothing much happening.
Right. See you later.
Right.
There is no report of a girl's body having been found in the Thames area last night.
Well, maybe the information is being deliberately suppressed.
It may have been, but my dear Manfred, I can assure you my information is usually reliable.
In that case, it's very odd.
Possibly. But you shouldn't have taken the risk. Here in London, we have no influence in high places.
She was becoming a dangerous nuisance. Excuse me. Hello, yes? Herr Dorf speaking. Oh, very well. Thank you. My car is waiting to take me to my meeting with the bankers.
You will finalize everything today?
I expect to. Come in.
Herr Dorf, your car.
Yes, I know. The receptionist has just told me.
Yes, sir, but it's not the same car or the same driver as it was yesterday.
Well?
I left strict instructions with the car hire firm that it should be the same driver. I was told there would be no difficulty.
What do you imply?
He is being careful, quite correctly.
Oh, very well. Ring the car hire firm and check with them.
Yes, sir.
Since that television program, people are showing a close interest in you, Manfred.
Oh, it's nothing. In a few days, it'll all be forgotten. There's no proof anywhere. I am Dorf. I'm accepted as Dorf. I have been since the war. How can anyone now point the finger and expect to be believed without any real evidence?
We cannot always rely upon people who come close to the truth meeting with an accident.
The car hire firm tell me that somebody rang from the hotel and cancelled your car half an hour ago.
Someone else showing an interest, Manfred.
Well, I must keep my appointment with the bank.
Call reception and ask Ingrid to come and have a word with me, please.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but Herr Dorf is going to be another quarter of an hour. He hasn't finished changing.
I'll wait here for you.
He's leaving now.
Would you stop here a moment, please? I want to get some cigars.
Right, thank you. If you can park by this white Cortina, please.
I wonder if you could tell me where the Hotel Russell is.
So, to sum up, your special projects people bungled the whole thing, and as a result, Dorf's identity remains uncertain.
My people didn't bungle anything.
Well, they failed to get the necessary information.
We're dealing with a very clever man, possibly backed by a powerful organization with good intelligence.
Even in this country?
If I'm right, the National Socialist movement is not only due for a revival, it's already started.
Fascism again in Europe.
Well, the red-shirted variety flourishes east of the Iron Curtain. Why not the black-shirt variety here? You've got all the ingredients: heavy inflation, acute economic depression, vast unemployment. Not the perfect breeding ground for an idealistic democracy.
I'm not really interested in your views of the possible future political complexion of Europe, only of how I am to explain Dorf to my chief.
Well, you saw the tape of the program that was sent over. There is no more information.
Awkward questions could be asked in the press, even in the House. Why is an ex-Nazi, a known war criminal, being allowed into this country to attend a trade conference? The Foreign Office will have to answer them.
Does it matter anymore?
The mere question of war criminals raises the spectre of the concentration camps, and that stirs up strong feelings.
My interest in Kessler relates to the present and future. If Dorf is Kessler, then he must be connected in some way to the SS loot, and I mean loot, and that could finance a whole new Nazi movement.
I am not concerned with that.
So far, we haven't managed to come up with any hard evidence about Dorf one way or another. Until we do, I suggest you just assume he is who he says he is.
It really is most unsatisfactory.
He was seen photographing Kessler's album, but when we developed the film, nothing. It has to be Bauer.
You traced Bauer through that telephone call?
Yes, he's in London. Here's a transcript. I'm sorry to have called you over, but I thought it might be of consequence.
No. You were quite right. Have the Kessler photograph album destroyed immediately.
Shouldn't we consult him first?
Immediately. I will inform Herr Dorf when I return to London.
You were right about Kessler. He does keep a few records of the past. I think I am being followed.
Seven 681. Yes, thank you. They've traced Kessler again. He's at the trade conference. My friends are watching him.
I hope they watch better than last time.
Well, they're professionals. Let them do their job.
I am going to post you this film to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Good news, huh? Now we have the proof you were needing.
Well, let's get the film developed first.
Your friend Carl must have seen the proof when he photographed the documents or whatever they are.
I haven't heard from him since he posted this.
So?
Well, he should have contacted me to warn it was on the way.
You will have the film developed right away.
Yes, I'll get Gidney's lot to do it.
Would you like coffee?
Please.
We need some groceries. Is it all right if I go out to do some shopping?
If you feel fit enough, and provided you stay in this area.
Of course, Richard.
See you later.
Yeah.
For a man who spent so long on intelligence operations to make such a basic mistake, it's pathetic. You were a Standartenführer. You made decisions daily that destroyed lives, and yet you are so stupidly sentimental as to keep pictures about you to remind you of the past.
I am proud of what I have done for Germany. And what I have continued to do, may I remind you?
Not much longer. Those photographs were to fall into the hands of the German government.
Well, I will send instructions immediately. They are to be put in a more secure place.
Don't worry, I've already done that. They have been burned.
You've destroyed them.
All of them.
But there were pictures of my wife.
And pictures of you in uniform.
That was an evil act. I have no record left of Madeline.
Your record of Madeline could have destroyed us all. And our hopes for the future.
She was my wife. I loved her. I had to keep some reminder of her.
And endanger your comrades.
You've never loved anyone. Oh, you've had many women, but love? You have no real feeling.
I felt pain when I lost this. I felt loss when my comrades died in battle.
No, you enjoyed your war. You, the great rocket, a legend in his own time, you're still enjoying being a hero. I had to do the dirty work. Oh, it's much easier to kill a man in battle than to sign his death warrant in your office.
Very well, my desk hero. It is now time for Dorf to disappear.
And Dorf Industries?
Will be taken care of without you.
I have been Dorf since 1950. I have built up a successful life. I have supported the Kameradenwerk financially.
On the contrary, the Kameradenwerk have supported you financially. The money is theirs, not yours.
I hold it.
In trust.
There's the profit from Dorf Industries.
There will be no Dorf Industries if those photographs fall into the wrong hands.
Nobody cares about war criminals anymore.
You're still subject to law. They can be tried, and some have been quite recently. My dear Manfred, you cannot return to Germany.
And Ingrid?
Oh, she is your daughter. It's up to her.
If I refuse?
Kameraden have already decided. I have made the necessary arrangements.
You can't touch that money without my signature.
Van Eyck is dead. Leiter is dead now. You are the greatest liability for the organization, and you are still alive.
Yes, because you need my signature.
We depend on your loyalty, my dear Manfred. And it will be safer for Ingrid this way.
I think I am being followed. I am going to post you this film to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
I'll get this developed right away. Your friend did a good job.
I haven't been able to reach him. He's not in his office. He's not in any of the usual places I'd expect to find him.
Worried?
Well, you heard the tape.
I'll ask friend Deakin to see what he can dig up on his channels. He owes me something for that lunch. These will be ready this afternoon.
Thank you.
Where's the girl?
Gone shopping. Well, we've got to eat.
Keep her out of our hair. This is a very professional bunch.
Don't worry, she's got the message.
Here you are. I have a passport for you, a reservation on the cross-channel ferry to Cherbourg, and train tickets from Cherbourg to Paris. And here are 3 tickets from Heathrow to Bonn. You leave tomorrow.
What about the trade conference?
I've had a message sent to the trade conference saying that you are unable to attend further owing to ill health and have been forced to return home.
Do we all leave together?
Exactly. Now, you all have the travel documents. Are there any further questions?
No, I think everything's quite clear.
My dear Manfred, I can assure you it is the best way.
If it will protect the organization, then it must be done.
According to my files, this would have been taken just before Kessler disappeared in 1944.
This one?
The same. The woman is Madeline, then his mistress, later his wife.
He had some unsavory friends.
He was SS, but worked very closely with the Gestapo, especially in Brussels. Kessler and Eichmann. If Deakin's right, this would have been taken just before Eichmann disappeared. Post-war. Wonder where.
I'll get my people to check on the backgrounds. Might be possible to identify something from them.
Dorf. These would have been taken just before Madeline died. Well, there's no doubt about it. Dorf is Kessler, all right.
Curious man. Had men and women tortured to obtain information. Jews sent to the concentration camps to die in the gas chambers. He'd loved his wife deeply.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Could you step this way, please, sir? Thank you. Could you do your jacket, please, sir?
He was killed, murdered like Van Eyck.
The official report says that he was killed by a hit-and-run driver.
I'm sure that Maurer is connected with this.
That is not a very nice thing to say about your employer.
Being an ex-Nazi doesn't necessarily mean you murder people. There's some very respectable ex-Nazis.
He isn't an ex-Nazi, he still is one at heart. A friend of Ruckert's and Kessler's, probably a member of the Kameradenwerk. If Maurer suspected that Leiter was picking up where I left off, he would have had him checked, followed. After Van Eyck's program, they're scared.
Well, surely that's what we all want. Frighten them enough and it's just possible they will run. Then all you do is follow.
And how many other people are they going to kill in the process?
Always been a dangerous game. You should know you're in it.
Yes, well, I haven't met this before.
A bit old-fashioned, I admit, but then so are they. They're all old men.
Some young ones around now.
They're like their elders, except they're even rougher.
So you think there's nothing I can do about Leiter's death?
It's up to you, of course. I wouldn't think there was much point in going back to Germany now. Not with Maurer there sitting over you. Better to keep an eye on Kessler, track down the leaders of the Kameradenwerk, and put the whole damned organization out of business.
Varig Airlines flight number 187 for Buenos Aires is now boarding at gate number 5.
Any news of your Israeli friend?
You'd better read this. She's at Orly Airport, waiting to board a flight for Buenos Aires.
So that's where she got to.
Yes, she's following Kessler. Only he doesn't know it, yet.
Look, I really am sorry we lost him.
So am I.
Give Deacon a ring at the ministry before you take off. He has a little man in Buenos Aires.
God protect me from my friends.
I wonder if he will.